You are listening to Season 2 of The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, the short and often daily podcast in which I chronicle my life and attempt to be a writer by writing daily. Sometimes. Hello, today is Sunday the 14th of September 2025 and you are listening to the tediously jubilant Diary of a Wannabe Writer. That's not the new title, that's just me describing myself because, I as you know, if you've been following this, I've had quite a few days of doing absolutely no writing at all. Some of it was planned, I knew I wouldn't be because I had days out, and some of it was just because I wasn't in the right frame of mind. Now, what I love about setting myself deadlines is that I really don't like to miss them, particularly with writing. I seem to be happier to miss deadlines when it's about doing something like sending my book off to be queried to agents and stuff. When it comes to actual word counts, I really don't like missing my deadlines, it appears. So, I'd started writing chapter 10 2 days ago when I met up with my friend Tani in Milton Keynes, and then yesterday really I should have finished it, leaving me today to do the editing. And so I to be honest, I assumed that I wouldn't be done by today. So this morning, and I didn't do it as part of a live stream. This is being recorded as part of a live stream now, but my writing earlier I didn't do as part of a live stream because if I'm honest, I was in my dressing gown and feeling a bit slobby and really didn't want to have to bother to get properly dressed before I went on air, as it were. But I finished writing the chapter, and there was actually an additional scene because one of the things that my characters are very good at doing is pointing out to me when I hadn't thought of something. And so if they're able to trace Charlie, if the Southern Institute are able to trace Charlie by kind of using his mind as a sort of print, then if there's two of him sleeping in the same house, then it's going to be much, much easier for them to do that, which I kind of realised as I was writing it, basically whilst Jagvir was explaining this to Saywood. So that meant I needed to add a scene on the end of this. So there's some quite emotive stuff here. There's the day out to Beamish, which is the wonderful open air museum that I'm actually visiting next month. I honestly don't feel not having been there has hindered the chapter at all, but I will allow myself to read through the chapter again the day after we get back, just to make sure there's no detail I can include that I feel I should have done. But that aside, I basically finished the stuff in Beamish yesterday, the day before, and then it was kind of the aftermath because, again, if you've been I'm not going to give away plot points, but there is a conversation that Jagvir needed to have with Saywood, which he knew was going to upset her, but he had to have. And so I wrote that moment, and it was actually quite a nice moment because one of the things about Saywood as a character, so some of the feedback from Still Life, mainly from one person to be fair, was that she wasn't a likeable character. In fact, she became a bit annoying on occasion. This person said it didn't spoil the book, but they weren't exactly rooting for her as a human being. And I kind of get that. Sorry, that was me having a sip of water. Saywood spends a lot of the book very, very angry and isn't especially likeable. I think you empathise with her, but you don't massively warm to her. So kind of one of the tasks in my head in this book is to make Saywood a little bit more likeable. So I've got her listening to advice, which she would have just she would have just done what she wanted to do in the first book. In this one, she's actually listening to advice and taking it on board. She's actually thinking about other people in this. She's very worried about Charlie and what the Sutherland Institute might do to him if they discover him. And she's still angry and upset about Rebecca's death in the previous book, but she's got to the point where if Rebecca's name is mentioned, she'll think about the good times rather than immediately going straight to the dark, angry place caused by her death. So basically, Saywood is kinder, warmer, less angry, in this book, which is great in a way, because it just means what happens later is so much more powerful if you're starting to actually like her, because I've got some horrible things set up to happen to my characters. Anyway, the good news is that I finished writing the chapter. I didn't edit it online, or at least I didn't do the first two screen read-throughs online, and then I thought, no, I really want to get this done. So I did the final screen read-through, then printed it and did the paper sign-off on a live stream. I've literally just finished it and it's done. It's signed off. I have finished chapter 10. Woohoo! It came in at 5,161 words, which means, drum roll please, that of my target of 15,000 words that I wanted to get done by the end of today, I have actually written 16,761. So I've written 1,761 words more than I needed to by the end of today, which means that I only have to write 8,239 words before the end of the month to hit my target of 25,000 for the end of the month. The next chapter is one I'm really looking forward to writing. So yay, once again, I feel I should quite easily hit my target for the month. So feeling really good today. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll be back tomorrow, although I won't be doing any writing tomorrow because I'm flying with work to New York. Thank you so much for listening. Take care. Bye-bye. You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. For more information about what I'm writing, go to linktr.ee/Richard Writes, capital R, capital W, where you can find details of my website and social media. I may see you there.